This week on Indie News, I go bald for Mogul to look like one of my favorite TV characters. A new smartphone that shoots video in 4K, a new piece of gear to turn your iPhone into a filmmaking machine, and the fate of the Ikonoskop D2 in an increasingly crowded RAW camera market. Welcome to Albuquerque, Indie Mogulers. I'm Walter White, aka Heisenberg, the greatest meth cook in America. So listen up, today we're going to learn how to go bald so you can look as badass as I do. Lots of Indie Mogulers like to compare me to Walter White from Breaking Bad. And apparently from these fan-made images, Russell is Jesse. We're big fans of the show, so I decided this Mogul to transform myself into this awesomely bad character. First step, shave my head. No, we're gonna use a bald cap, but I'm shaving down to the iconic Heisenberg goatee. Then some pomade to slick my hair back. I already look older. My friends think I look like Louis C.K. I'm using a latex bald cap kit that includes most of the tools I'll need. Hey look, I'm done. We start by tracing a line along the natural wrinkle in my forehead and tracing half an inch away from my hairline. We cut away the excess latex with our crappy scissors that really aren't sharp enough for this job. We need to get better scissors. By cutting straight up the ear, it's easier to fit the cap into place, unless you want to go for an alien no ears look. Now we roll the cap back half an inch and apply spirit gum to my skin. FYI, spirit gum has been around since the 1890s, and the name doesn't refer to the spirits of Halloween. Spirit here means the alcoholic ingredient, isopropyl alcohol. After about 40 seconds, the spirit gum gets tacky and you can press the cap into place with a damp cloth. We should have pulled the cap a little tighter to eliminate wrinkles, especially because we learned it tends to loosen over time, and the cap is stronger than I thought. It can handle the stretching. Next, we use a sponge to stipple on 3 layers of latex to hide the seam of the cap. My wife applied the first 2 layers beautifully, and then I decided to try. Bad idea. I am terrible with latex. I always make it clumpy by accident. That, coupled with the fact that my skin is too pale to match any known human makeup, meant that some of the results were pretty ugly. At this point, I almost gave up and angrily ripped the bald cap off my head. Luckily, I did not, because we're done when I say we're done. Turns out, at a medium distance, the effect is pretty convincing on camera. Here's a little test. Alright. I need a good hat. Oh, that's pretty good. Howdy, ma'am. Yeah, I'm a meth dealer. Adios, Tuco. I still look bald. Wait, what's a pork pie hat? I am the one who knocks. Yeah, that's badass. They call me Heisenberg. In the end, the bald cap peeled off pretty easily, which proved to me that it can stretch quite a bit before tearing. In the shower, I used an acetone-based spirit gum remover to get rid of the extra gunk. In the future, I really need to improve my liquid latex skills and find some even whiter makeup to conceal the edges of the bald cap. Now let's check in with Russell for this week's filmmaking news.
Thanks, Griffin. Now, if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, you may have been aware of a farewell event being held for the show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You may also have been wondering what happened to that live stream of the funeral that was supposed to be shown on YouTube. Well, the event was streamed on the channel for the Albuquerque Community Foundation, who learned a tough lesson about copyright when their stream was very quickly shut down as they began airing footage from the finale episode. The group apologized to viewers who were looking forward to seeing the event and promised to upload it to their channel very soon, so keep an eye out if you're interested. In tech news, the new Samsung Galaxy Note 3 smartphone was just released recently, becoming the first phone that can shoot 4K video, and it does so at 30 frames per second. While 4K is still not a widely adapted format, it's impressive that that they're getting video at this high of quality out there on the consumer level. To watch the video at its full resolution, check out the link at the end of this video and in the description. Speaking of shooting video on your phone, Rode recently announced a new device called the Rodegrip, which will give any aspiring iPhone filmmakers out there a pistol grip-like handle to give it more of a real video camera feel. There's also a Rodegrip Plus version that comes with a few camera lenses that snap onto the device. It also works with the Rode IXI microphone to mount it on top of your DSLR to use as an on-camera mic if needed. No price or release date yet, unfortunately. In camera news, Swedish camera manufacturers Ikonoskop recently found new financial backing. Ikonoskop is the maker of the D2, a very impressive camera that shoots RAW in 1080p. If you haven't heard of it before, that might have something to do with the fact that you'd have to invest roughly 10 grand to get the camera and everything needed to get started with it. Featuring 12-bit RAW recording and a global shutter, the camera sounded incredibly impressive when it was first released, but the company ran into financial trouble and had to discontinue production this past summer. It doesn't help that they now have to compete with other, more affordable RAW cameras, especially the upcoming Blackmagic 4K production camera and the digital Bolex. A good sign, however, is that the company seems to have acknowledged that they need to reassess their business model, and in the near future, we might just see the D2 sold at a more competitive price. That's all for the news, but before we get to the playlist, don't forget that tonight is the deadline for the Project Ed Scary Words video contest. Get these entries in by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. You could win $1,000 if you take the grand prize and are between the ages of 13 and 18, $1,000 if you win and are over 18, $250 if you qualify as a finalist, and the big deal here, the best video submitted by an Indy Moguler will win $250. If you're hoping for that prize, don't forget when submitting, when they ask you where you heard about the contest, to put in Indy Mogul. Alright, now our playlist for today. We start off with some very, very good looking footage shot in 4K with the new Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Remember to select Original as the resolution. Then a video from Rode explaining their new Rodegrip, featuring test footage shot using it along with the lenses that come with the Rodegrip Plus. We also have some test footage shot with the Ikonoskop D2. I really can't stress enough how great looking that camera can be. Really hope to see a price drop soon. That camera is competing for my affections, however, with the digital Bolex D16, and you can check out this video of the D16's creative director Elle Schneider talking about the camera at MIT's Hacking Arts Conference last month. Also, don't forget to check out the winners of our first terror trial from last Friday, and tune in this Friday for more Breaking Bad related goodness. Or badness. But badness in the good way. You know what I mean.